Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your April 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Taurus. And I apologize for getting these out later than usual. Made some tweaks. I hope you enjoy them. And let's see, before we get started, take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Check me out on Instagram, TikTok, all of the social medias at Onyx Healing, and you are more than welcome to check out all of the other content, classes, availability to work with me. All of that other good stuff is in the description box, so check all of that out. I'm gonna lay this spread out and then we will get started. Okay, let's start with your oracle cards. First thing coming up for you is Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. I should also mention with this that it's going to be important in the month of April for you to really focus on what is it that I am doing to adjust my energy, to make myself feel better, more supported, whatever you feel like you're needing more of at this time. Take divine responsibility of that piece. Just take the responsibility of, okay, I am going to adjust my energy however needed, and let that be what carries you through the month. And then we also have seeing things for what they are. So practicality is going to be your best friend in April. It doesn't need to be anything profound or extreme or anything like that, but it's just like, look at it for what it is. Be clear about what it is. Don't make any stories in your mind that are distressing. Instead, just be practical and be intentional about what you're telling yourself. And then we have Paradox. Explore the contradiction. Let it breathe life into the situation. Release stagnating ambivalence. Embrace your dichotomy. Try the wrong approach. Try it out. Experiment. It's like you have the time and space to do it, so try it out. Now let me explain how this reading works. The bottom three cards are what is supporting you in April. This is specific guidance or action to be taken. And then this is the outcome of the month. So first thing coming up is death. The rebirth cycle, the death and rebirth cycle that we're in the middle of, it seems like that is actually what's supporting you. So maybe this month is bringing you a change in perspective, realization of what really matters, or maybe you're awakening passions and pleasures that you didn't know you had. So it's one of those things where there's a lot of growth that is in support of you at this time. So don't underestimate the power of this, because this is I'm waking up, I'm aware of what it was that wasn't working and all of the things that are supporting me moving forward and all of the things that may have been collecting dust. The death card is just showing you that the support is coming through contrast. Same thing with the paradox. It's the contradiction, the friction, the absence, the lack, the contrast is what's waking everything else up. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So the efforts, the work, the endeavors have all paid off. So it's like there's big significance in what you're able to gain benefit from. So I think that whatever foundation you've built or whatever work you've put in up to this point is actually paying off now. Like in April, it's just having you sit more and marinate in the energy of I'm supported fully. That's what the Nine of Pentacles does. And then we also have the Rider. So intentional storytelling is supportive for you right now. So it's like, pay attention to the narrative that you have running in your mind, if you have one, whatever that may be. And this is just telling you it can be supportive, or it can be something that isn't. So it's like you've put in the work, you're waking up to something that is supporting you, you're realizing something, that's the Death card. You are supported, and it has a lot to do with material support, physical support, like the material world is where you're being supported. And then the Rider is more about the internal dialogue. So consider that. Whatever you're feeding yourself mentally is going to be what grows. The guidance for you is the Emperor. Creating structures for yourself. This is Divine Masculine. So let me see what else is coming up before I speak to that. 7 of Rods. I see this as it's okay for you to take a different approach or do things that might not be the normal way of doing things. It's like there's some innovation coming from this card, only because it's like I'm going to do things my way. Regardless of whatever might be sitting in the periphery, I'm still just going to move to the beat of my own drum, basically. Now, the Emperor is helping you understand that you need to feel really, really aligned about what you're doing and what action you're taking. That is the core piece for the Emperor. And I think it's reminding you of that. You have to feel good about the action, and you might feel better in the month of April if you're doing things and really leaning into a sense of productivity in some capacity. And then we have, okay, so this is a Joker. This is kind of like a wild card, and what this is reminding me of is like, it's up to you. So like, yes, of course, I'm reading the energy of what's happening right now, but at the end of the day, you still have free will. You still have the opportunity to do whatever it is that feels good to you, and that's never going to be one size fits all. So if you can remind yourself that this needs to be something that you feel aligned with and that feels fully true for you, that's what's worth following at this time. The outcome of the month, 9 of Swords. Now, unlike the majority of people, I like the 9 of Swords because it's a reminder of how much fear exists in the mind, right? The mental body wants to keep you prepared for every possible thing that could go wrong. That's what it wants to do, and it's really good at keeping you prepared and making you try to see around every corner at all the bad things that could possibly happen. That's what our brains are supposed to do. And the 9 of Swords reminds us that just because we think it, just because it exists in the mind or in the mental body, doesn't mean it's legitimate. That doesn't make it real. And we have the Ace of Swords. It's about how you're thinking about it, how you're perceiving it, what you're imagining in your mind. Like, that's actually what's going to make a difference. The nice thing about this is that it doesn't materialize. The 9 of Swords is immaterial. It's in dream space. It's in the mental body. It doesn't exist in the material world. So that's where you have a lot of control if you're doing this work. If you're exercising a lot of internal support, internal structure, and telling yourself something more conscious and intentional, and rather than fantasizing about doom and gloom, because that's not actually going to help anything. And the Ace of Swords is reminding you, you have the option and the opportunity to shift how you're perceiving things every moment. That's the nice thing about thought, is it can evolve moment by moment by moment. You can choose again over and over and over. It's not that dense. And so the more that you choose to realign yourself, fall back into what feels good to you over and over and over again, mentality-wise, that is going to be where the shifts really come from. Now let's get into the timeline. So the first quarter of April is the Empress, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, giving to yourself, being kind to yourself, recouping, healing, relaxing. All of that is very important at the beginning of the month. So if you feel like things are really cooling down, if things are really in a feminine period, make sure you're capitalizing on that. Don't squander it. Just use it to recharge and start implementing things that maybe you've been putting off or that you've been wanting to do for yourself. This first quarter in April is really going to be a good time to do that. Second quarter, we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so the Knight of Wands is really about motion. So in whatever capacity, the recoup period here, the super feminine recharge time leads to motion. So I'm seeing this as an energy increase. Things are moving more, they're growing more, they're increasing more. That's what's happening over here. So let's see the third quarter. We have the Page of Cups. So once again, with this theme of filling your cup, literally, if you can see that, it's something that you're going to want to dance in between, right? So you have downtime, then there's picking up energy. This is going to be more of an emotional, sensitive time as we move into this third quarter of April. You know, things might just feel more sensitive or more intense. You know, you might have more emotional processing to do, more things to just work on. And the solution is to honor the emotions and continue tending to yourself. That's the only way through the emotions. And then the fourth quarter, we have the Page of Pentacles. So it's funny because you have like these alternating themes in your timeline. Rest, productivity. Rest, productivity is kind of the rhythm of your month in April. So it's just one of those things where if you find yourself wanting to force, I would check in with what you're actually trying to do. Like it's not necessarily a time where you're going to be able to force yourself into doing things that aren't aligned. Like I just don't think that's going to work for you in April. You're really going to have to listen to your own rhythm. And that's also what the Seven of Wands was telling me too. It's like just do things how you want them to be done, because it's really important for you to take care of your physical body right now, right? Just listening to that part of yourself. Because I think that collectively, a lot of people are just focusing on what is my body saying. So for you, it's going to be important to be intentional with that as well. Now let's do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to pick a card, any card, whatever feels good. Ask a question, ask for guidance, whatever you need. If you would like more time, pause the video. Card number 1, the Knight of Cups. Be honest about your emotions. It's not going to serve you to try to hide from them or ignore them or downplay them. It's like, if you're having the feelings, just honor the feelings. You don't need to try to like finesse them to meet a perfect picture of yours. Just kind of let them run around. You know, don't let them steer the ship, but let them exist. And that's actually what's going to get them to transform faster. Card number 2, we have the Hermit. Find the light within. Yes, it's so cliche, it's so cheesy, but that's what the phrase is coming up, because you can see the candle in there. And it really is about the support, the reflections of what you see in the outside world. It's something where when you access the part of you internally that feels supported, that feels whole, that feels all of the feelings that you desire, that's where things will be reflected back to you in the external. So it's important to focus really intensely on that work for you with whatever you're asking about. It's an inside job for you, whether that be money, relationships, or anything else. The inside work is most important. Card number 3, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Watch yourself for slipping into like freeze mode. Okay, because this is like there's no energetic movement or motion. So I'm getting circulation is how you break out of this. It's like breathing into the situation somehow energetically. And if you feel like your response is to completely retract all of your energy, to pull energy away, to freeze all energetic flow, it seems like that's actually doing you a disservice. Even if environmental stuff is getting in the way of your normal energetic flow, find a way to supplement it, because it can be done. That's going to be important so you don't feel so constricted, confined, and like there's limited opportunity for you to breathe, really. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It has been a pleasure as always. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, go to onyxhealing.com. Check me out on Instagram at onyxhealing for more content from me. You can check out my podcast. I post some of the episodes on YouTube as well. You may have already seen that. And as always, stay in touch, get on my newsletter, go to the link in the description box, or you can check out all of the different offers that I have down below, as well as all of the decks that I've used in this video. For those of you who are interested in classes, you are more than welcome to join one of the classes that I have. They are open and available, so you can check that out as well. And I will see you all next time. Have a beautiful April, everybody. Bye-bye.